We got another segment called Pro Tips.
Pro Tips.
And Pro Tips is for the newbies out there who maybe yourself just over a year ago, in that little like 3-week period where, you went from like, hey, I should buy a laundromat to I just bought a laundromat. But anybody who's in that gap, whether it's 3 weeks or 30 years, whatever it is, you got any tips for the newbies, something you feel like they should know beforehand or do beforehand before they buy their first laundromat?
Yeah, like just make sure that you have a really strong network, and obviously don't sign anything before you speak to you or have a lawyer. That's probably the best thing. Don't sign a contract of sale until a lawyer's looked at it and given you advice. But outside of that, like the legal team came from a friend, like it was a recommendation from a friend. So talking to your network about the fact that you're really keen on buying a laundromat and bringing in people with skills that you don't have. So, if you're an accountant that wants to buy a laundromat that doesn't know anything about digital marketing, talk to someone who does know stuff about digital marketing. If you're a person who knows about marketing but has no idea about how finances work and can't really analyze a deal, talk to someone who's really good at finance and analyze the deal to make sure it's worth it. And then just have your team set up before you actually go in to make the purchase.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like that little piece of advice straight from your own personal experience. Get the lawyer involved early. Don't wait. Not all sellers are going to be, quite so accommodating all the time, but yeah, great piece of advice. And, I love the networking advice. I mean, that is something that, for me, it's one of my big things that I've been learning since doing Laundromat resource stuff is just the power of the network and knowing different people and even knowing people who know different people, those so-called super connectors who, whenever you're like, man, I wish I knew somebody who knew digital marketing. And, I can say, hey, you got to talk to Jono. He knows his stuff. That's what he does for a living, right? Or I need a lawyer in Melbourne. Hey, talk to Jono because, he needed a lawyer too and didn't get one in time, but now he knows a good one, right? Or whatever, right? So even knowing people who know people is a good one.